Alrighty, yeah. So it looks like we've already started here. Luffy went first, and Sakazuki's gone second. Nothing much has happened on the board so far. Just cycled out a card. It looks like from the Sakazuki side. Gonna be difficult to see exactly what they're discarding there, but nonetheless should be fine throughout the matchup. Looks like we're discarding Manchuri to the attack, taking a life to go up to 4. And what will be our play from the Luffy side?
Okay, scratch from a poo.
Could be scratching a poo. Solid vanilla, no problem with that at all. 6K
Yeah,
is not.
I think Luffy's just trying to put stuff on the table, trying to get Sakazuki to expend some resources here without costing Luffy too much.
Absolutely. You want to expend those resources, make them awkward then in the later turns when you start playing your big threats to the table. And looks like we'll discard another Apu to that.
Counter out. We are going to stay at 4 here.
And just considering what Sakazuki might do, looks like we're going to discard. It's going to be a discard of 7-drop Borsalino. What are we digging towards? And it looks like we're just going to go for the 4-drop Borsalino.
Yep.
Pretty reasonable. Going up to 6 Dawn now for the Luffy side. Just attack for a 5K. Don't really want to block with the Borsalino because then Scratch Pinapu can swing on that. Would prefer to just be able to possibly block with that if the Scratch Pinapu comes in. Just to discard the 1K in Sabo to that attack. Using the purple Luffy ability, going down to 3 life, getting us up to 7 Dawn.
It's a good number, but are we going to play the 7-drop? We're going to see Polly +1, but we can't destroy anything. So we use the 2 Dawn to ramp 1, but we're not able to pop the Borsalino, of course.
Okay.
But the ramping is what we want. So next turn, we'll be able to go to 10.
Yep. Looks like we were not interested in using a 2K with the Borsalino there to block this one. Instead, just opting to take the life, which is fine. Our hand was getting a little bit low there.
That does take him down to 3, though. So,
yep.
It's not much. That's the first damage. I think he's allowed to take that one.
I agree. And then what are we going to see from the side of Sakazuki? We saw 7-drop Borsalino already discarded, which means that's not an option. I guess we're on our 6th on turn. Yeah.
It looks like we've got another dog on camera. Today is just amazing. We're seeing it all.
Yes. This dog is not quite the lap dog that we saw last round.
Well, I think it's important
to be a side dog.
If we're going to see Hound Blaze get played, that there be hounds.
That is true, actually. Hound Blaze is for the hounds. Alrighty. And then use our cycle ability. And what kind of options do we have here in the hand? You could try and Great Eruption to be able to like Hound Blaze one of these away. You could find option to just like attack the Scratch Pinapu.
Okay. So we are going to do exactly that. We're going to Great Eruption on the Scratch Pinapu. Good
on the
call
Apu
out.
Is interesting. Okay. And now we're going to attack, it looks like. Using on the Apu means that so I was expecting a line of possibly like use it on Polly to be able to Hound Blaze the Polly. Using it on the Apu means that we're attacking the Apu also. The Apu is down to a 1 cost now, which is what the die is representing. And we're just going to let that die. Since you expended resources on minusing the Dawn, we're just going to say, hey, the answer you have there is fine.
Okay.
And
Rebecca for Hina? I'm guessing Hina here.
Most likely, I don't remember exactly what we discarded there. But
brand new.
It is brand new.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah, get some resources. Yeah, you're going to want to find something back since you just lost your Great Eruption for free. You're going to want something back.
Looks like we got Suru.
Borsalino is an excellent pickup here.
Yeah, I think that's a Borsalino, and then I don't know what the other card there was, but
the middle card, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure off the top of my head. But we're going up to the 10 Dawn turn of Purple Luffy, so now's the turn we can start getting pretty crazy with. Polly's still on the table as well. Polly could either clear the brand new or could just go face.
Yeah, I really like the aggressive Polly there, even though you weren't getting value. Just because, now you're at 10 Dawn, and really where you start winning against Sakazuki is playing 2 5-drops per turn. And this is exactly where you're at now.
So Rebecca jumped in front of the 5K attack. which is interesting. You could have blocked the Borsellino, and then Rebecca could have jumped in front of the
Borsellino.
The poly attack there. Right. But maybe you're playing around the fact that this could be a 10-drop Luffy turn, and you didn't want to expose yourself that way. Unsure, but nonetheless, fine there. It looks like a small readjust of the camera to get everything in frame. Oh, or not. There we go.
I've got most things in frame.
Yep. Looks like an attack with the poly, just for the 6K there. And that'll be a life taken. No trigger.
Okay. Go down to 2.
Looks like we're going for 5 Dawn. Is this Poly? What do we got here? Queen. It's a Queen. Pretty solid.
Okay.
Go ahead and
trash a card.
Fix up the hand maybe a little bit.
I mean, it's a good number of 6Ks on the table now.
Yep.
Of course, we're going to want the third one to make it extra awkward to try and get over these. Houndblaze going up to it, making your leader an 8Ks. It lines up so well against these 6Ks.
It does. It does. That'll be a Scratchman, a Poo discarded. And do we have maybe another Queen? Maybe a Poly just for the body? Looks like maybe we were just considering 4 Dawn here for something.
I think we're going to hold on to Polys if we have those.
I would agree, but if we have no better bodies to put out, I would prefer that.
Okay, 4 Dawn for a Law.
We'll go for a Law.
And we actually do have 7 cards in hand on Sakazuki's side, so that is going to hit.
Nice.
That will hit.
Alrighty.
We're going to decide how to randomize this.
Yeah, it could be a dice roll, could be choosing...
The ends. The ends make the most sense here. Ice Age and
Hina. Okay, so Hina is fine to hit. Your opponent can always get that back, but Ice Age is kind of nice. That'll save your stuff from being Rabuchi'd here.
Hina is 100% not the card you want to see. That feels like hitting nothing, but actually it feels like worse than nothing, right?
It feels like you enabled something.
Right, it feels like your opponent was like, oh, please hit the Hina.
Yeah, but I was going to discard that next turn anyways. But
right, Ice Age certainly not what you want to. It's certainly the card that you were looking for, as it's going to be.
Yeah, from Floofy's side for sure.
The fastest way from 5 to 0.
So nice for that, and like you had kind of talked about, the board is now in an awkward state for the Sakazuki player. 5-drop, 5-drop, 4-drop. You're really going to have to work to get these things down to a point if you want to rob Lucci. Right. Houndblaze is obviously still fine, but it's just 1 for 1.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that 5 and 4 is easier than a 5 and a 5, like 100% easier.
Sure.
And it kind of boils down to the difference between destroying 2 characters this turn or not. But of course, you take the Trafalgar Law plays when you have those.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like you were able to take an option off the table by taking the Ice Age with the Law, so it feels like it paid for itself.
Ice Age would have been massive.
But nonetheless, it looks like Sakazuki's considering what the lines might look like. Something like a 7-drop Borsellino here would also be fine. That's a great attacker back, and be able to get the Queen out of the way to be able to attack on the Poly.
Looks like we're going 6 probably on Poly.
That's probably fair.
Let's see where the -1 goes.
You have to assume it's going to be on something that's untapped unless you're trying to threaten.
-1 on the Poly, and the 6 went to life. That makes sense.
Okay, that's fine then.
Borsellino.
It looks like it's going to be Borsellino.
Okay.
We'll put the Poly away. There would have been an option there. You could have minused the Queen and then attacked the Poly to try and force a card out of your opponent. And then the Borsellino could still put something away. But nonetheless, all fine lines. Your opponent getting down on 2 life is also reasonable. You don't have a lot of time in this matchup if your opponent still has the board. So just saying, hey, we'll race out of this is fine. And then what is from the purple Luffy side? We've got something big we want to play. Some 9-drop Kaido, some 10-drop Luffy. Or are we trying to just play 2 5Ks this turn? Looks like we're starting off with an attack for 7K with our Queen.
Okay, so we're not going to be playing 2 5 costs. Well, we could figure out a way to do that. If that was our goal, we could do that. We still have leader ability.
Use our leader ability. We can also still Queen plus Law, which again is fine. Still leaves more 5-drops on the table. Looks like we're considering taking versus blocking. Don't think you can afford to block with the Borsellino here, because then it's really just going to be attack down, and that's kind of your last line of defense.
Right. Andre is at 2. It's not incredibly well represented here, but
yeah,
Andre is at 2.
All right, so we're going to go for a block and discard a 2K. Suru will go away.
Okay.
Attack
feels good to get
5K.
Suru's out of the way. Suru being able to take down your character's cost by 2 feels really important. So that is nice to get for that to be the 2K.
It looks like we did just go 5K at the face there, which discarded 4 with Sabo.
Looks like Alex.
You're fine with that, but you're not clearing the Borsellino with an attack like that if that's what your line was.
Alex on 6 cards. Andre on just 3 here.
Yeah, really taxing the resources out of Andre's side.
Yep. And as long as you have 5 costs coming down, it's going to continue to be that way, as it takes multiple cards for Andre to get through these.
Looks like 5 cost of
Kid.
Kid coming down.
Nice alt art there.
Yeah, and then
we're going to see Ulti.
Ulti.
Do we have the page 1?
Page 1?
Of course
we do.
And
the board is filled.
Kid ability is going to let us get 1 Dawn back and come across for 6. 6 most likely going on Borsellino, I have to imagine.
Nope. I would have to imagine.
Nope.
The blocker will be very relevant later. Eating a card of your opponent's hand is also costly. But...
I think that's interesting because I think Andre is incentivized to take the damage, but as far as like trying to turn your very wide board of 5 drops into damage, if you leave Andre at 2, there's a world where he's able to stabilize and just play the keep away game long enough to where he's able to turn the table a little bit. So the swing there is pretty heads up. Just noticing that I don't have full board control right now, so I can't really play this hand reduction game. I'm just going to go aggro instead and make you have the counter power necessary to get out of this.
Sure. And it looks like instead we're going to opt to discard 7-drop Borsellino from Sakazuki's side. Get rid of another one of those. And then with our 1 life, we got to make sure we're going to play some blockers this turn. So something like Rebecca seems like a line that would be available to us. We know we have Hina in the graveyard. If you want to get back. And where is this Borsellino going to go? I assume you have to try and clear it on the board a little bit here. I know we're trying to race our opponent. Maybe it's possible you could try and play 2 blockers this turn, do a double Rebecca line, something like that, to try and force your opponent. But it doesn't feel like you have a lot of resources to counter out with.
Feels like too many cards in Alex's hand to play like a racing game. So you probably do have to go board.
Yeah, attack the queen or something here. 8 on 6. Your opponent probably just lets that fall because they have a wide enough board already.
I would not be surprised if he decided to counter out of this, as there isn't much here that could contest the queen outside of this Borsellino, possibly a Hound Blaze plus leader swing. It would not surprise me if he did counter out.
Sure. Looks like we're just going to let it fall. And what else do we have in the hand? All the Dawn is held in the hands. Can't imagine it's 10-drop Kaido.
We just discarded 1 last turn, so very unlikely.
Yeah. Instead, looks like we're going to go for a 6K attack. 6K minusing the kid, making sure that kid's not able to effectively block. And we do have to discard 2 cards to get out of that. 2 1Ks pitched there.
Okay.
Looks like Rebecca's going to come down. That's definitely one part of the plan we needed this turn. You could try and get back a Hina. You're getting back Tashigi into hand. Maybe you can play a Hina from hand.
Not sure.
Unsure what that card is. Can't see that.
Brand new, I'm guessing? No.
It's probably Sabo because you drew 2.
Sabo. Okay. So you paid 5 to play Sabo.
That's probably
why
what
is the webcam
there.
that way? It's more of a cinematic look.
It is, yeah, definitely for sure. Really gets to show off the hoodie there.
It's a nice hoodie. Yeah, we're gonna discard. Was that Hina and Great Eruption?
I believe so. Makes a lot of sense. Those cards don't counter.
we have 3 blockers now. So if your plan was to attack my face, you're going to have a real difficult time doing that this turn.
Yep, for sure. Still not in an uncomfortable position for Luffy at all. You're fine just kind of trying to eat away at the board, commit a little bit more.
Sheep's Horn going to tap down the Sabo?
Most likely.
Borsalino.
Oh, I think it's 4 cost or less, right?
No, it's not. It's 6 or less.
6 or less? Okay. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Top Anyways, is the one that's bottom of 4 drop.
Oh, okay. Looks like we're attacking for 7. I assume we're just trying to swing face with that attack. 7 is the number on 5 that would make the most sense. Opponent has, I think, 3 cards there, 4 cards. Tough to see from Andre's side, kind of blending in with the mat.
I believe he has 4 cards. Yeah, I believe Andre has 4.
Yeah, representing the PPG mat, though. Look at that.
It's a tough one. Gonna swing 7.
Yeah, definitely not envious of the position necessarily.
Right. You have to make sure that you're not giving your Rebecca away at the wrong time.
No, yeah, you don't want her to swing to come in larger and then kind of regret that. But it looks like we are just going to opt for the Rebecca block.
Okay. We did also have the option of like block with Sabo and then 2K out, but that feels like one of the worst options.
Yeah, it feels like you kind of aren't able to afford the kind of value blocks like that. Like you might need to have them for larger later in the turn.
Right. Like your opponent has, like Luffy has 2 5K attacks that could come across. You want to definitely save your Sabos for those. All right, so we're going to go up to 8 with
Tashigi plus Hina, I think.
And Hina.
2 cards left in hand.
Sokka player Shady. I mean, I don't think we haven't seen anything shady. Just a weird camera angle. Purposely having black sleeves. I mean, to be fair, black sleeves is like the most prominent sleeve color that have ever been printed. There will be a ruling. We also have a judge watching the game. The judge is in the chat with the game.
Going attack for 7 with the leader. Looks like we're just probably going to even out most of these attacks. And that one will get the last life. So down to 3 cards. So now, if we do like a 7 and then an 8, that might force this Sabo to block one of them. Maybe the reasoning for tapping on the Borsalino at the beginning of the turn was purely that Borsalino can't attack back quite as well. And so you'd rather force the Sabo to jump in front of something?
I think I would probably sheepstorm the Sabo just because if your opponent's going to block with something, I'd rather they block with the Borsalino. But
yeah. And that was an attack for 8, and we did not have enough counterpowers. So that is the end of the game.
Yep.
Luffy is taking this one with the very wide board they were able to assemble there. So very nice.
Let's swap over.